11 News starts with breaking news.
And some tragic breaking news to share with you this afternoon out of Beaver County. Firefighters rushed to put out the flames, but they could not save a woman inside this house.
That fire sparked at a home on Center Grange Road in Monaca. And moments later, we learned someone was trapped inside. Good afternoon, I'm Gordon Lash.
And I'm Jennifer Tomazik. Channel 11's Liz Kilmer joins us live in Monaca right now with the breaking details from investigators. Liz, what'd you learn?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Yeah, certainly this is never the news that we want to bring you. So we're here at the Center Township Fire Station where we just spoke with both police and fire officials, and they tell us, as you mentioned, there was a couple that was inside this home, a couple believed to be in their 70s. The husband made it out, but the wife, unfortunately, did not survive. Now, we're going to show you exactly where this happened here. Center Grange Road. We're told it was around 8:30 this morning when first responders got the call. They say the call actually came from inside that home with the caller saying that a couch was on fire. Now, this was a very quick response. Police arrived right away. Fire officials, there were even some passerbys who came to try to help, and we understand, like I said, that man was able to get out safely, but the woman, his wife, was trapped. Officials were able to get to her. They pulled her out of the home. They tried to resuscitate her, but unfortunately, it was just too late. Really hard situation for everyone involved. Take a listen.
What I would like to say is our condolences go out to the family, both from the fire department, as well as from our police department. And it's a tragedy, and unfortunately, these things are never easy for a community.
Now, the Red Cross, we're told, will be called in to assist the husband who survived. Meantime, we aren't quite sure exactly how this fire started. Of course, this is going to be an ongoing investigation. We are going to work to get updates, and we will have much more for you coming up tonight at 5 and 6. We'll bring you whatever we're able to learn. Reporting live from Center Township, I'm Liz Kilmer, Channel 11 News.
Gosh, yes, such difficult news. Liz, thank you so much for that new information here at noon. We'll be thinking of that family today. Want to follow some more breaking news for you this afternoon. The Allegheny County Health Department has learned of 24 more COVID-related deaths. 22 of the victims passed away this month. The other 2 were reported late from the state system. That's what the county's telling us. The county has also learned of 250 new COVID cases since yesterday. Allegheny County leaders are set to have their weekly briefing at 4 o'clock this afternoon about COVID, so you can look for any developing details tonight on Channel 11 News starting at 5.
Well, this past year has certainly been tough on all of us, and we've talked a lot about the mental health challenges for children. Channel 11's Mike Holden found out what the Plum School District is doing now to help students.
It is a major move coming from the Plumboro School District right here behind me. Officials say they have taken notice and understand how hard this pandemic has been on everyone. So moving forward, they've hired 3 new social workers. Students' mental health is a top priority. That is the message coming from Plumboro School District officials after they gave the green light approving plans to hire 3 social workers. These social workers will help students with stress, anxiety, and other mental health concerns during this difficult time, and even after the pandemic ends. Parents had recently expressed their children weren't thriving in a remote setting with lower grades and less social interaction. Kids are now starting to go back to in-person learning, and school officials say this is a great resource moving forward.
We had a lot of students through a survey tell us, they didn't feel like they had that one person to go to in the school that they could get help from. So issues like that really surfaced for this. So we saw that students were struggling.
And these social workers will be available to all students in the Plumboro School District starting in March. In the meantime, I'm now talking with board members about how these positions will be funded and their future plans for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting from the Plumboro School District, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
The Union for Pittsburgh Public Teachers says it was surprised by the district's reopening plan. The Pittsburgh Federation of Teachers says it'll continue to push to have teachers vaccinated before returning.
We never demanded it. We did recommend it, but and I want people to read the CDC recommendations very carefully, that you don't have to be vaccinated if other safety measures are in place that are not in place in a number of our schools.
Superintendent Dr. Anthony Hamlet says that the district meets and exceeds the mitigation strategies that the CDC recommends. He says it'll be a staggered return based on how the students are doing with remote learning, and they'll go back after Easter in April. Central Catholic students will finish out the school week remotely. One of the staff members there tested positive for COVID, so students will return to in-person learning on Monday. This week, this is interesting. The Trib is highlighting how schools manage classes when teachers go into quarantine for several days or weeks. In some districts, when a teacher is out, someone covers for them either in person or online. And as you'd imagine, it's not always easy to find substitutes. It is yet another challenge for districts and for their students. Now, the American Federation of Teachers, which is the union that represents Pittsburgh public teachers, is calling for weekly testing for them and for students. They also want to move teachers up on the vaccine list. Now, last week, the CDC said that vaccinating teachers is not a requirement to reopen schools.
More promising news on the fight to get Americans vaccinated against coronavirus. Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine got a critical endorsement. It's a big step in bringing a third shot to the United States. Our Jacqueline Fell explains how soon it could happen.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration says Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine is overall safe and effective in fighting the virus. Now, this is different from approving the vaccine for use in the public, which could happen as early as this weekend. Documents released by the FDA show J&J's vaccine. It's about 70% effective at protecting against severe COVID-19 infection. And that's the case with all ethnic, racial, and age groups benefiting about the same. The J&J vaccine differs from the two already authorized because only one shot is recommended instead of two. Testifying on Capitol Hill yesterday, the vaccine maker said if approved, it could ship out millions of doses right now and pledged 20 million next month.
And we're prepared to ship immediately upon emergency use authorization nearly 4 million doses of our vaccine.
The vaccine is already being used in South Africa, and the company has applied to the EU and the World Health Organization for authorization. In Washington, Jacqueline Fell, Channel 11 News.
And while we wait for this new option and more doses to become available, there's some good news. This week's allocation of COVID-19 vaccines for Pennsylvania is the highest for a single week since they started to be shipped 2 months ago. Big national chains are getting vaccines, but what about the mom and pop shops? Ahead at 12:30, why they're worried they won't have enough COVID vaccines to go around.
We are monitoring Pittsburgh City Council today for an important vote on evictions. A couple hundred families are on the verge of losing their homes in Pittsburgh, and today's City Council is supposed to talk about a moratorium on evictions. Allegheny County courts have had one in place since last March, but it expires on Friday. So the city is looking to make it an ordinance that would basically put a stop to evictions until the pandemic is over. This would also give tenants some time to enroll in a rental assistance program starting on March 1st. So between the city and the county, they have $36 million available to help families. There has also been a request, though, to take into account for City Council what the moratorium would do to landlords.
More than 3 dozen inmates and some staff at the Allegheny County Jail have tested positive for COVID-19. Our news partners at the Trib are reporting out of 1,600 inmates, right now 38 tested positive, as well as 15 staff members. We're told when someone tests positive, they're transferred to a different pod and held under quarantine. An attorney said one of the reasons why the virus keeps spreading is because of inadequate testing, but the warden said they are following recommendations from the CDC, the State Health Department, as well as Allegheny Health Network.
State Republican leaders could decide today to censure Senator Pat Toomey. He voted to convict former President Trump during his second impeachment. Now, many county-level committees have already censured Toomey. The U.S. Senator is retiring at the end of his term. Toomey said he would still have voted to convict President Trump even if he was running for re-election.
Tiger Woods is facing a tough recovery after a scary crash. Woods had to be pulled from the windshield of his SUV yesterday after a rollover wreck. The hospital revealed today the golf star had a catastrophic injury to both legs. NBC's Craig Melvin has the latest on Woods' condition.
We have a rollover with someone trapped.
The victim of that terrifying crash, golfing great Tiger Woods. Overnight, his official Twitter account reassuring fans that he's currently awake, responsive, and recovering in his hospital room. The 45-year-old suffered multiple injuries to both legs and was rushed to a local trauma center where he underwent several hours of surgery. Doctors revealing in a statement, Woods fractured his tibia and fibula, the leg bones below the knee and had to use a rod to stabilize them. They also inserted screws and pins into his foot and ankle. Earlier on today, we talked to Sheriff's Deputy Carlos Gonzalez, who was first on the scene.
I don't think he was aware of how gravely he was injured at the time. It could be a mixture of adrenaline. It could have been shock.
A Woods SUV, which was traveling at a greater than normal rate of speed, according to authorities, flipped over multiple times.
No skid marks, no braking. So apparently the first contact was with the center median, and from there then crossed into opposing lane of traffic, hit the curb, hit a tree, and there was several rollovers during that process.
Images of his wrecked SUV, shocking. The front end completely torn off.
Just look at that vehicle and literally broke apart there.
All of the SUV's airbags deployed, some stained with blood. First responders forced to use an axe and a pry bar to remove the windshield to extract Woods from the SUV. So far, the exact cause of the crash unknown.
So the road to recovery once again underway for Tiger Woods. 5 back surgeries, a knee surgery, and now what some suspect could be a career-ending car accident. That's the very latest from here outside the UCLA Harbor Medical Center. We'll send it back to you.
All right, let's talk some local sports here this afternoon in the Black and Gold Zone. It is looking more likely that Ben Roethlisberger will be returning next season after all. This morning, Steelers president Art Rooney II put out a statement confirming that the two did meet yesterday. Now, Ben says he wants to play next season, and the Steelers say they want him back. Rooney said, "We both understand that the next step is to work out Ben's contract situation. Roethlisberger's contract accounts for 1/5 of the team's cap space."
Well, I hope you had a chance to get outside at some point today. It is the warmest day of the year so far. Let's head over to meteorologist Danielle Dozier with what we could expect this afternoon. Danielle?
Warmest day since December 12th, if you can believe that. It is beautiful out there right now. Live look over the city, plenty of sunshine, and we have the temperatures that are already in the mid to upper 50s. 56 degrees right now in Pittsburgh. It's 57 in Greensburg, enjoying 58 degrees out in Washington. Boy, oh boy, is it windy though. We're looking at our winds that are gusting up to 26 right now in the city, 25 in Beaver, and 23 in Washington. I've bumped up the high a lot, going with a high of 60 degrees this afternoon now, with a west wind with occasional gusts to 35 miles per hour. I am tracking some rain moving in today. I'll have that timeline coming up.
All right, thanks so much. Love those temperatures. Let's talk warm temperature things here. Remember last year when spring breakers partied without masks and then weeks later COVID surged? The plan's in the works now to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Something that I don't remember ever experiencing in my 22 years of doing law enforcement.
He's talking about this sign placed in a window, how a local woman was saved as police say she was being attacked.
But first, thieves climbing under cars and stealing parts. The popular local spot where it's happening. Imagine spending hours of fun at Seven Springs on the slopes, and then you get off the slopes, you go back to your car, and you find out that a piece of your car is missing. That has happened to dozens of people over the last few weeks. Channel 11's Melanie Gillespie found out about the expensive part that state police say thieves are after.
State police say these thieves are targeting parked cars from in and around the Seven Springs area. Police say if they're good, they can be in and out from underneath a car in just a matter of seconds.
It could be as few as maybe 10, 15, 20 seconds if you really know what you're doing with a good sharp cutting implement to actually remove that.
Brazen thieves are at it again, targeting catalytic converters from parked cars. This time, state police say as many as 30 vehicles were hit in and around the Seven Springs area just over the last few weeks.
Obviously, somebody's got to climb under a vehicle with some type of cutting implement to remove the catalytic converter. Usually people use some type of saw, a sawzall, something of that nature.
Police say it's happening at all hours of the day and night over a couple-mile area. At $400 a converter, it's a bold crime and comes with a costly repair.
They're causing hundreds and hundreds of dollars of damage to maybe get $100. You know, those catalytic converters are very expensive for you to purchase, new, have them installed.
Depending on the market, the precious metals inside the converters make them valuable. Police say right now they don't have any leads to go off of.
We don't have anything of any value, so if anybody has information, that could be the little piece of information that breaks the case wide open.
Melanie Gillespie, Channel 11 News.
Investigators have alerted scrapyards to be on the lookout. Thieves may try to sell that melted down metal for metal scraps. And meantime, Seven Springs says it is aware of the situation and it is working with state police.
A woman's quick thinking might have saved her life. Police say her boyfriend had been attacking her, and she managed to put up this sign in the front window of her house asking for someone, anyone, to call 911. And fortunately, someone did. State police came to arrest James Vickers inside that home in Unity Township. And Vickers reportedly fought with troopers when they tried to take him in. Troopers say they are just thankful someone did call 911.
A horrible situation that we were able to, it could have gotten way worse, right, without her having communications and stuff. So we were very fortunate.
Vickers just got out of prison in October after an assault in 2018. He's facing several new charges, including assault and resisting arrest.
Beards are no longer protected under the Crown Act in Pittsburgh. City Council voted to remove all facial hair from the law that prevents hairstyle discrimination. It went into effect in October. It protects people who have hairstyles that are reflective of their culture, like dreadlocks and braids. Now, City Council changed the beard part after debate over a policy within the police department that doesn't allow officers to have beards.
At the start of the pandemic, spring breakers helped spread COVID-19, and now there's a concern that that will happen again. Some officials of Florida hotspots want to impose a midnight curfew. Others say a curfew or limitation of hours will only hurt the businesses there and do little to stop the spread of COVID-19. As for businesses, they're just trying to keep their heads above water no matter what officials decide.
If they have something they want to enforce, we're going to follow it to the T. And though that may change week by week, you know, we're just trying to keep up with it and still trying to run a business.
Fort Lauderdale's mayor says if a curfew is issued, partygoers will just leave bars and continue to party in unregulated areas like hotel rooms.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Taking a look at our visible satellite right now, and on the latest frame, you're going to notice that white shaded color that is basically still right through here. That's actually the snow that is still on the ground. Our instrument in outer space is able to capture that. And then if we wait 1 second, you're going to see the white that's moving right up through Newcastle. That's some clouds. So we are going to be looking at some clouds building in throughout the later part of the afternoon as we track a cold front that'll be approaching the area, bringing us that rain. I'll show you that in a second. Winds, they are strong out there today, and they're going to gust up to about 30 and 35 miles per hour this afternoon. This is a look at our sustained wind forecast, and you see area wide up around 15 to 20 miles per hour at the 3 o'clock hour. Areas in yellow are those sustained winds as high as 20, and again, those gusts will be even higher. Now, there are signs that overnight tonight, the winds will come down. They're going to shift around to the northwest, a sign that the cold front is past. It'll still be a bit breezy in spots with winds sustained up to about 15 miles per hour, but overall much lighter tomorrow morning than what we're going to be dealing with today. As far as tonight's forecast, it will be colder, as I mentioned, that colder air coming in behind the cold front, 29 degrees, and we're going to have a little lingering moisture around overnight tonight, so I do expect the chance for a few spots of snow or some flurries, but we're not expecting any snow accumulation at this point. The temperature, though, falling down into the upper 20s once again. We were in the upper 20s this morning across the region. So we're going to need our coats again in the morning with 31 in Greensburg, 29 in Indiana, 27 in Butler, and about 29 degrees in Washington. Let me fast forward the clock for the day today, and here's a look at 4 o'clock. You notice a couple of showers moving on through, and looks like I just got an update to the model data. I actually still think we're going to have a few showers through about 4 to 5 p.m. in Pittsburgh, and then those are going to be pushing down to the south with time later on this evening, where I do expect a few pockets of moderate rain in the easternmost ridges. Here's 2 o'clock in the morning. There's a little bit of that white shaded color popping up, so as I mentioned, a few spots of snow can't entirely be ruled out overnight tonight. We'll take a look at the rainfall forecast as we head into the next half hour. I'll show you that. Meanwhile, take a look at the forecast tomorrow. It will be roughly 20 degrees colder, if not even more so, in the afternoon tomorrow, with a high temperature only in the upper 30s under a partly sunny sky. So the 5-day forecast, your weekend always in view, going from 60 today to a high of about 38 on Thursday. And then 43 Friday will be a better day for us, and we're going to have plenty of sunshine there. Weekend, if you have any outdoor plans, it will be milder with temps in the mid-50s, but we will be bringing in some showers from time to time on Saturday, and then a few showers, it looks like, coming in from the south as we head into Sunday morning. I'll see you back in the next half hour.
Well, thank you so much. For a lot of us, visits with Grandma and Grandpa have been limited. Now that they are getting the vaccine, though, we're finding out when visits can get back to as normal as possible, and it might be closer than you think.
I guess when I was a freshman, they didn't have enough rooms.
Pitt's campus could soon be getting a facelift that would improve housing. Be among the first to see the new master plan just ahead.
Welcome back. If you love bike lanes or if you hate them, you can voice your opinion tonight. The city is holding a virtual public meeting about bike lanes in Shadyside and Squirrel Hill in particular. You can see the area here on the map. Those green lanes, those are the existing bike lanes, and then the yellow spots, that's where the city wants to either improve or add some bike lanes. That meeting is 6 o'clock tonight. If you're interested in taking part, you can go to the story on WPXI News app and you can register there. So Pitt is looking ahead to the next 10 years. The university unveiled its renovation plan to the City Planning Commission. They want more housing, they want better athletic facilities, and a massive new academic building. And they also want to add an integrated health sciences complex. So here are their three main goals that came out of some public meetings.
Providing for that flexible growth, supporting the student experience, and identifying opportunities for neighborhood enhancement.
Part of the university's plan includes adding 1,000 beds over the next 10 years.
The one-year contract extension for Allegheny Technologies' 1,300 steelworkers expires on Sunday. According to the Trib, there's been no talk of a strike or lockout for workers at the Harrison Township plant. The last contract expired in February of last year, but the two sides agreed to an extension because of the pandemic. More companies plan to make temp jobs a permanent part of their workforce. A survey from staffing firm PeopleReady finds 40% of companies say they'll make temp jobs a permanent fix. And about 2/3 of workers say they're considering temp or part-time work to earn more money.
Finally, we have a place that is designed to take care of those who are so vulnerable.
It's moving day, and the Light of Life mission can now help more people. We get a look at the new space, 4 times the size of the old shelter.
Big national chains are getting vaccines, but what about the mom and pop shops? Why they're worried they won't have enough COVID vaccines to go around.
We're 1 week behind already, and they absolutely cut us off of first doses, so I haven't had anything in a month.
Frustrations over the COVID vaccine rollout continue to mount for owners of small pharmacies. Some don't know if they'll receive enough doses to give out the second shots. Governor Tom Wolf said the state should be caught up with its supply by the end of the week, but pharmacy owners remain hesitant. And that's the case for Adzema Pharmacy in McCandless. The owner says that he doesn't have the answers for the community he served his whole life. His freezers are empty and 200 people are due for their second shot.
I don't have any vaccinations and I can't get any, but the biggest frustration is I don't have any answers if or when I'm getting anything.
The state is trying to reassure everyone who got their first dose that they will get their second dose in that 42-day window at the same provider.
How about this question? When can we hug our friends and family again? Gosh, it has been so long, right? So you might be thinking about it maybe more now because grandma and grandpa, maybe they've gotten the vaccine.
Yeah, and while it is still unclear when many others can get the COVID-19 shot, we may be closer than we think to embracing our vaccinated loved ones. Lauren Khalil explains.
Many of our grandparents have spent the last year in isolation, trying to prevent catching COVID. But now, many of them have been vaccinated, leaving us to wonder, is it safe to visit?
They're both vaccinated, and you go visit them and you're feeling well, and hopefully have been, generally socially distancing and staying safe. The chance that they would become ill from that visit is very, very low. I can't tell you it's zero.
Infectious disease specialist Dr. Helen Jacoby says, on average, the vaccine is 95% effective at preventing serious COVID infection. The biggest thing to remember, though, your grandparents must have received both doses and be 2 weeks out from the second shot.
It's important to take into account the person's immune status. If grandma or grandpa has, a transplant or is undergoing chemotherapy for cancer or something, the vaccine might not work as well as it would in most people.
She says it is safer to see them if you're vaccinated too, but again, the chance still isn't zero. As for masking during your visit, Dr. Jacoby says you don't necessarily need to. That's if you're someone who stays socially distant and wears a mask most of the time.
The safest thing to do is, you go visit them in their home. You decide you're not going to wear your masks. You're feeling well. They've been vaccinated. The fewer people you come into contact with without a mask, the safer it is for everybody.
So one of the biggest things that I'm looking forward to once both my grandparents are vaccinated is hugging them again. Is that going to be okay?
Oh yeah, if you're seeing them without a mask, you can hug them.
That includes kissing too. And Dr. Jacoby is practicing what she preaches.
My mother is in Florida and she's getting her vaccine, and I am making plans to go and visit her.
Well, one of the biggest concerns, we still don't know if people who are vaccinated can pass COVID. So make sure you are healthy and not at high risk for the virus when deciding whether to visit. You can join us on our WPXI Now app Friday night as we bring you the latest information on the race to vaccinate here in Western PA. Our special report starts at 8 p.m.
Turns out we are less anxious about going out to eat. A new study found more Americans are feeling pandemic fatigue and really just want to get out of the house. I think a lot of us can relate to that, right? So last April, 80% of those surveyed said that they would not go to a restaurant. This was Blue Dot who did this survey. Tracking software company now says that number has dropped to 69%. And more than half the people who took it say they are okay with takeout. President Joe Biden is not moving forward with the plan to send masks to every American. Instead, the White House says it'll likely be a more targeted approach. They could be sent to disadvantaged or underserved communities. The president has called on everyone to wear a mask in public and made it mandatory on federal property.
Helping the homeless. The Light of Life mission opened its doors to its new home and is sure to make a big difference. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond got a closer look at the mission, 25 years in the making.
This is the Light of Life Rescue Mission's new home. You can see it from 279, right along the North Shore, just steps away from people who need it most.
Finally, we have a place that is designed to take care of those who are so vulnerable.
25 years. That's how long the Light of Life Rescue Mission has been looking for a new space to serve the community. The building on Bentley Street is 23,000 square feet. It's 3 floors. On the first floor is the kitchen and dining area, which is 4 times the size of the space in the old building on East North Avenue.
Most people, if they've been down and out, they've been traumatized for a long period of time, and they're expecting a basement or a cot somewhere. And when they walk in and they see that this is the place that's prepared for them, sometimes the reaction is just tears.
An emergency shelter and short-term living space for men with 20 beds is on the second floor. Light of Life Rescue Mission launched a capital campaign to pay for all the improvements. This part of it cost about $6 million.
One of the most exciting additions is there on the third floor. It's a first of its kind for the Light of Life Rescue Mission. Today at 5, find out what's up there and who it benefits, plus what's next for the Light of Life Rescue Mission. Reporting on the North Shore, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
Back with a check of the forecast. Here's Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar. I wanted to show you those showers that are occurring up in Ohio that will eventually be headed our way. Only looking to pick up a few hundredths of an inch of rain in most locations, with a slightly higher total here down across the far southeast ridges of about a 1/10 of an inch of rain, where we do expect some pockets of moderate rain occurring there later this evening. Temperature-wise, look at the numbers. Enjoy it. Get outside, get the fresh air, the sunshine. Temperatures in the mid-upper 50s. It'll feel a little cooler, though, because, yes, those strong winds will blow. We'll have occasional gusts to about 30 and 35 miles per hour today. Check out the forecast. I'm actually going with a high now of 60 degrees. I've really bumped it up since this time yesterday, just based on the latest data. Strong southwesterly winds pumping in that warmer air, maybe a little rain-cooled air by 5 o'clock, and then down into the upper 40s at 8 p.m. if you're out walking the dog. Just a great day for that as well. Coming up, we'll take a look at the forecast for your Thursday. It'll be much colder, so you're going to want to stay tuned.
We would be able to assert more local control, where we would be able to make decisions closest to the local level.
Leaders in the 7 counties surrounding Allegheny County, we have them shaded up there and all with the names written on there. They are the ones that are considering forming a regional health department. So during the pandemic, they have really had to rely on the state for information, for resources and guidance, and some of them say they felt out of the loop. So a Washington County commissioner organized a meeting with leaders in other counties to discuss their options.
The first step we have decided to take as a 7-county group is to find out from the state what components of the Department of Health we would be required to take under the regional umbrella.
She says they don't want to take everything on. For example, the state health department would still be in charge of restaurant safety and environmental issues. It is one key symptom of COVID-19, how Penn State researchers are using your senses to test for the virus.
And many people are driving less, but paying the same for car insurance. The new push to cut rates up to 60%. Class action lawsuits have been filed against auto insurance companies. The suits claim the companies failed to account for a drop in driving during the pandemic and charge excessive insurance premiums. Some insurers did provide discounts, but the lawsuit claims the discounts did not offer any meaningful relief. The lawsuits want to see a 50 to 60% cut in rates, and 10 companies are being sued, including State Farm, Geico, Farmers, Allstate, Nationwide, and Progressive.
Be careful before you answer your friends on Facebook, because it might not actually be your friend's page. Take Mark Duffy, for example. He says he knew something was wrong right away. His friend posted this picture here, and it is a flyer offering people thousands of dollars. But before you get the money, it says you have to pay a small fee.
And, when I saw, a blessing, like, yeah, we'll pay you we'll give you $2,000 to respond to this. And of course, that's easy bait.
Yeah, it's a good thing he knew that. And the fake profiles actually use pictures of your real-life friends and then ask you to send the gift cards. That's how they try to trick you into doing this. So the Better Business Bureau says before you jump into action, do your research, contact that person directly to confirm that their account hasn't been hacked.
Mail trucks are getting a makeover, and they have a futuristic look. The post office plans to roll out 165,000 of the new trucks over the next decade. The agency says they will cut costs and are more eco-friendly. Also, for the first time, the trucks will have airbags.
Beautiful sunshine to enjoy right now, but the clouds will thicken up. I'll show you when. Plus, it's getting a lot colder out there tonight than what we're dealing with this afternoon. We'll have a look at that coming up.
A 4-day vacation complete with airfare, sightseeing tours, and an added bonus, a COVID vaccine. The warning that comes with this vaccine vacation. You know, scratch and sniff stickers, right? Okay, how about peel and sniff? Yeah, Snickers making you hungry. Peel and sniff postcards. Are being used as a COVID screening tool? So we've told you how you can lose your smell or your taste a lot of times if you get COVID. So researchers with Pitt developed these postcards, apparently, that smell like coffee, strawberries, onions, chocolate, and smoke. And if you can't smell it, well, you might want to get a COVID test. With the entire world trying to get their hands on the limited supply of the COVID vaccine, some people are taking a high-priced vacation just to get the shot. Channel 11's Aaron Martin looks into how vaccine vacations are catching on.
Around 2 million Pennsylvanians in Phase 1A are still waiting to get their first COVID-19 vaccination dose. But some people just don't want to wait, and their status might mean they don't have to. NYU professor Arthur Kaplan says it's happening worldwide.
And I also know that people have gone to Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. Now, you have to be pretty rich and have a lot of free time to do it, but I know people have done it.
And you may have several travel options to do it. The website zenithholidays.com listed a section on vaccine tourism, which has recently been taken down. They were offering a 4-day stay along with a vaccine for about $2,000, with a warning from the company that they're still waiting for approval. Another package offered a 6-day trip to London or a 22-day stay in the UK. There are plenty of amenities like airfare, breakfast, and sightseeing included, but they can't guarantee the vaccine will be available. It's a bridge too far for Christina Solomon.
I wouldn't trust the travel vaccine. That sounds crazy to me.
She's not the only one skeptical of the offers. Frontiers International Travel co-owner Molly Fitzgerald says travelers need to be wary of something that appears too good to be true.
Yes, it's challenging to get a vaccination. It's hard here in Pennsylvania, let's face it, but traveling with an uncertain outcome, I think it would just cause me to ask a whole lot of questions.
But this isn't just an international issue. Florida was recently dealing with people coming from other states and even other countries to get the vaccine, leading to the implementation of a residency requirement. But it can be difficult to monitor everyone, and everything has a price. Fitzgerald's advice is to protect yourself so you're not left high and dry.
I think you could tie up potentially a lot of money and a lot of time with a disappointing result.
Now, since we started reporting this story, several of the vaccine vacations advertised have been removed from their websites. However, experts say that if supply continues to be an issue, that they wouldn't be surprised if more of them pop up in the near future. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Aaron Martin, Channel 11 News.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Beautiful sunshine out there right now. Look at the camera shaking, though. Look at that. I mean, it's really windy out there right now. We've had gusts up to about 25. I think they're going to get as high as about 30 and 35 miles per hour. Nice to see the sunshine. It'll feel a little cooler, though, when you factor in that wind. Here come the clouds. They're back in eastern Ohio right now on the last loop right through there. Those are the clouds. All the other white that you're seeing on the screen is actually the snow that's on the ground. The model data is picking up on that. If you're in Butler, you're probably seeing a few more clouds in your area. You can see those moving across the screen there. And this will be the case as we head through the rest of the day today. These clouds will continue to build in from the west. Now, our temperatures, they're in the mid to upper 50s. I think we'll climb close to 60 here before we get too cloudy and before the rain moves in by about 4 p.m. or so. 58 degrees in Washington right now. It is 58 in Beaver. Temperatures should be in the lower 40s for this day of the year. So we are pushing well above, but it's not record territory. Record highs in the 70s today. 60 though this afternoon. West winds 10 to 20, gusting up to 35 miles per hour with those showers moving in this afternoon. And then tonight, there will be a few isolated spots of snow, maybe some flurries out there. Nothing too terrible. We're not looking at any snow accumulation out of that. Winds will actually become a little bit lighter, but still a bit of a breeze in spots, 5 to 15 miles per hour, so it's not quite as bad. And the winds will shift around to the northwest in response to the cold front. So we're looking at upper 20s, low 30s tomorrow morning. So have your coats on once again. It's going to be it's really hard, right? Because you're going outside, most of us probably without even a jacket on this afternoon. And then we've got to put that right back on tomorrow morning. So about 29 in Washington and Indiana and 31 in Greensburg. As far as the rain goes, I showed you we're only going to get a few hundredths of an inch, but I wanted to bring back a different model because I think that I agree with this one a little bit more, showing those showers in up around our northwest counties, 3 o'clock hour, and then here 4 to 5 o'clock, seeing a few showers here in the Pittsburgh area and Allegheny County. Those will continue to push off toward the south, and we're going to be dealing with some rain in Uniontown and Morgantown during Wednesday evening, and then again a few spots of snow possible overnight tonight. You see a little bit of white showing up there. Tomorrow is going to be colder, but again, just a few degrees below average, 38 degrees, partly sunny. West-northwest winds will die down tomorrow, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So that's not too terrible either. 37 in Butler, 37 in Indiana, and Greensburg, Uniontown, you'll check in right around 40 degrees. Getting outside the next few days, I think Thursday and Friday will be the best days, and today will also be a great day before the rain, so enjoy that too. And then here on Saturday, we are expecting some showers in the picture. 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view. We're actually going up to 43 and mostly sunny on Friday. Temperatures will bump back up into the mid-50s and well above average for the weekend, but we will be dodging some rain from time to time.
All right, Danielle, thanks so much. Now here is local Steals and Deals, Lisa Robertson.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if you had 5 key people with you every moment of the day? You would never be alone. You would never worry. You would never be afraid. Well, that might not be possible, but I have the next best thing. This is a brand new concept called Invisaware. This is a beautiful necklace. You literally just push the button and it alerts 5 people that you're in trouble and where you are by a GPS location. So think about it. You're walking to your car in a parking lot. You're by yourself. Something's not right. You use your rideshare app. You're in the car. Something's not right. You're going to, you're leaving somewhere, you're walking down the street, you're by yourself at night, something's not right. Maybe it's you, maybe it's your daughter, maybe it's your niece, maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your sister, maybe it's your best friend. Every woman has felt that. This is a brand new concept that I know you're gonna love. Please meet the young lady who actually developed it. This is Raja.
It looks like a beautiful piece of jewelry, and people never believe this, but it's actually got a safety device hidden on the inside. There's a button. If you press it 2 times, it immediately sends a text message to 5 people that you pre-select in the free app. And there's a feature to allow it to optionally contact 911 as well. When you double press it during an emergency, it sends your loved ones a link to your live location so that they can send help. Thank you so much to Local Steals and Deals for having me, and for the audience listening. I'm so thrilled to be able to help keep you safe and to keep your loved ones safe.
Thank you so much, Raja. I think this is one of the most amazing designs. By the way, this keeps you safe with no monthly monitoring fee, which I think is very important. It comes in the gold tone or silver tone, beautifully gift boxed and ready to go. And right now on localsteals.com, it is 28% off. So start making a list of everyone you love and you want to get one for.
Well, you don't have to travel too far for some cool art. According to the Discoverer blog, Pittsburgh's Andy Warhol Museum is among the top 10 coolest museums in the country. The Discoverer blog is an online travel website. It praised the museum for its unique features and collections. One of the world's best-known voices is helping honor one of England's most famous venues.
This room awaits from you what you alone as visitor can bring.
Rolling Stones frontman Mick Jagger narrated a video as part of the Royal Albert Hall's 150th anniversary. The video shows archive footage of performances, speeches, and sports events. The hall has hosted many of the world's greatest entertainers and celebrities, including the Rolling Stones 4 times.
Makes sense why he would narrate that, right? So if you need something to brighten your day, just listen to this story before we go this afternoon. This is Lagula Estolas. She just celebrated her 104th birthday. Happy birthday to her. Get this, she had COVID and she had a heart attack. So we're glad she's doing okay. And when UPMC St. Margaret found out that she was turning 104, they just had to help her celebrate. So sweet. Just love to see videos like this. And so she's out of the hospital and certainly has lived through a lot. She was actually a baby during the Spanish flu. And here are her words of advice, Gordon. Keep on keeping on.
I think she knows what she's talking about.
Absolutely.
Great smile, too. She looks like she's got a pretty good attitude.
Yeah.
Get outside and enjoy that weather. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5.
Can't wait. Heading out there right now. You do that, too. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
This is Take 5, highlighting Western Pennsylvania's most innovative and successful businesses.
Hello and welcome to Take 5. I'm Heather Habira. Joining me today to talk about children's wellness from United Healthcare is Chief Medical Officer Dr. Arathusa Kirk. Dr. Kirk, why